Have you ever been hating sweaty and then just opened up a window and felt the rush of cool air against your face and head? Oh, one of the best feelings in the world. Smells fresh too. Hey everyone, the Flying Scotsman here. Welcome to this video. Now, here we are once again at Retrofest, and this is actually on the request of Jack Stavros of all people, because he's actually given me some quite positive feedback about this, and you know, he actually said to me that, you know, I was in yesterday and he said to me that I better be recording what I'm doing, so I spent some time charging my phone so that I can do just that. Now, as you probably might have noticed, we have another couple of tables. Well, we've got another 3. I have, well, this one's like the other ones we have. It's got a monitor, it's got the terrible BenQ monitor on it, a Dell keyboard and a JPEG mouse, and it's connected to the Dell Dimension 4600. We have the Packard Bell here. Unfortunately, that's dead. And a dodgy looking trapezoid table. Don't worry about that. Yeah. And then over here, this was a very quick snap decision this morning. We have my Dell Dimension 4100. I love this machine. I didn't really want to get rid of it, but it is still within my domain very much, just like the 4600 is. And it is going to be very useful to us at Retrofest. It is a fantastic machine. Really. You know, it is. There's just no two ways about it. That is going to be the server, actually. We're going to run Windows 2000 server on it. Got Acer monitor that one of my colleagues in here used to use with their computer, and speakers that my other colleague had connected to their computer. Now we have a keyboard and a mouse. Now this keyboard actually has its own wee trick. It's, I can show you it now. It's called the Keyboard Ergo Classic, and what it is what we can, it's a metal shieldy thing, and what we can do is we can slide it on top of the keyboard, and what that does is it gives us a really ugly keyboard. In fact, I'm not even sure that this is the right keyboard for it, but I think this is for people who kind of struggle to type. I'm not entirely sure how good this is at what it's supposed to do. But if anyone does know, I would be willing to learn. I mean, I've seen this, you know, throughout the past 5.5 years that I've been working with this charity, and I've never understood it. It's just one of those things that I'm really not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure the keyboard's not supposed to be tilted up the way with it on, but let's try it on this. No, that. So it obviously would go to the keyboard that it's with. It's a Mitsumi Ergo Keyboard Classic. Actually, is that the keyboard? No, it doesn't look like it actually. So it's probably in the wrong box. There is actually a badge on that thing, so I guess we could look at it. But as for updates, Grampian Electronics machine working absolutely fine. It's quite funny. This Packard Bell died while nobody was using it. It was basically sat in the wee office in our old place for years. tested it on Blue Planet 64. Some people might remember that, some people don't. I certainly don't. This mesh, it was built in London. I've had some interesting issues with this that I've had to iron out. But I think I'm getting there. But this, the Grampian Electronics machine, this is a proper chuchter. It's hard wearing. It'll just keep going. So that's what people here do. They just keep going. It's like, I really don't care if I've no CMOS battery. Ken, I'll just go. I don't really care if I die a hard drive. In fact, you can fit. Fuck it, I don't even need a main board. I can just work with what I hate. Anyway, I guess what we're going to do is set up on the tripod, which I found it would work the way to the bottom of my bag of tricks. What we're going to do is install Windows 2000 Server. Now, if you're 12 years old, stay tuned, because this is a good one. And I'm going to have to apologise right off the bat, because this is quite a small screen. So what you'll probably end up with is my head, if I'm honest. So, what we're going to do here is I'm going to power this system on. Excellent. Oops. Yeah, and this is, we're using Windows 98. And I left my theme park World disk in the disk drive. That was a good idea, Jay. CD-ROM contains a newer version of Windows than the one you are currently using. Would you like to upgrade to Windows 2000? Actually, no. We're not going to be doing that. What we're going to do, instead, is restart. Tell you that screen brings back memories though. Windows 2000 autoplay menu. And then notice this contains a newer version of the thing with the version thing of the other thing that you've been using. Please try it again. Dell, what are you doing? You're supposed to boot up using F12. Come on. Please do try. Stop it. You. Now listen here, you. This is not going as well as I was hoping. I don't know what is with this. There we go. Thanks. Peripheral configuration, diskette, ID, blah 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 blah. Right. I don't understand why this isn't working. I'm pretty sure that the key to do the thing on the Dell is F10. Anyway, I've decided that I'm going to try something different. Format C:/Q. This disk was recently full formatted. I probably should do it again, but to be honest, I'm running out of time. I've got an hour tops. Well, an hour and a half tops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the recovery console and quick format the drive as NTFS. Now, hopefully, do I really have to change the BIOS? So, first boot device. floppy, a Tappy CD-ROM, a DHDD. Simple. Anyway, as I was saying, this system has got Pentium 3 866 megahertz copper mine, a NVIDIA GeForce 2MX, which I know is a bit of a weak card. That's what it came with. If I can find anything stronger, I'll install it. We have a what else do we have on this system? Other things. What else do we have on this system? 80 gigabyte hard drive. Creative Labs 5.1 sound card. I added a Linksys Ethernet adapter. There's some kind of modem from the Encyclopedia Genericka. Then there's I'm just trying to think what else. Removable storage. We have a 1.44 meg floppy drive. DVD ROM and DVD RW drives. And a Zip 100 drive, just like the Messerschmitt over there. So I think it's good that we've got systems with zip drives, because yeah, I mean, we can have a dual purpose of, you know, if anyone needs to come in and, you know, might want stuff taken off of zip disks or what have you, I can do that. So what we're going to do, format the drive, can't type on this keyboard, yeah, format CQ FS:NTFS. This switch is native only to the NT line of operating systems. Basically what I'm doing, format the C drive very quickly using file system NTFS. Don't try that in the DOS version of the format command, because you can't change file system that way. Not that you could change to NTFS, but even you couldn't even change between FAT and FAT32 using a format command. Excellent. Okay, so once again, setup is starting Windows 2000. Now we're actually going to set this up. So to set up Windows 2000, now press Enter. Bing, done. F8. That F1 key is looking half a messy. Yep. NTFS drive. And then I think it's picked up the zip drive. There's no disk in this drive. So I can either format the hard drive using the NTFS file system or leave the current file system intact, no changes. That's what we're going to do. We've already formatted it. Excellent. We are now underway. Now, just as with Windows 2000 Professional, this will take some time to install. So go make yourself a cup of tea or something. Right, we are now onto the GUI portion of setup. So here on in, it's well, at least in the setup portion, it's very much like Windows 2000 Professional. It's really not that much difference at all. There is something that's slightly different, something that probably should be in Windows 2000 Professional setup, but I will come to that later. So here's one of the different screens on Windows 2000 Server that is actually server related. What kind of a license model do you want? Per server, number of concurrent connections, or per seat. So I'll go for per seat. Then it's just back to being perfectly normal. So now we get on to the accessories and utilities. Actually, what this is you can add or remove components. This is basically like the add or remove component screen in well, basically in Windows 2000 and XP. So you've got the usual stuff, you know, accessibility, accessories, games, communications, multimedia, that sort of stuff. But then you have things like certificate service, obviously indexing service, internet information service. Again, a lot of stuff that comes with Windows 2000. But then you have remote installation services. Provides the ability to remotely install Windows 2000 Professional on remote boot enabled client computers. Nice. Remote storage, set of services and administrative tools that you can use to store data from infrequently used files onto magnetic tape. Terminal services provides a multi-session environment for clients to access Windows-based programs on this computer. Terminal services licensing configures this computer as a terminal services license server that provides client licenses, and then you've got media service. Windows Media Services enables you to stream multimedia content to network users. Okay, we're not going to need any of that. We're literally just going to need the basic Windows 2000 Active Directory style stuff. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click Next. August the 4th, 2017. Time is nearest down at 2:50. And it just kind of shows how quick time is going. So here we are. Please wait while Windows installs networking components, and I've got here to my menu. Okay, so we're finally at the desktop. Well, at the screensaver. Now, if I'm right, there should be drivers for Windows 2000. Anyway, let me log on. So with the network cable now connected, I should probably discuss how I'm going to run things. I'm going to use this machine as the DHCP server. And, you know, that, because obviously it's only, you know, just a cheapest chip switch that I've got here. But, you know, using this as a DHCP server, it'll just make everything very easy and approachable. You just kind of plug a laptop in or a computer and away you go. So we've got all the Dell drivers on here, but we have to find what's, you know, we basically have to go through here and install only the stuff that pertains to the actual system that we're actually using. So Intel 815 chipset, quite a useful driver to have. Funny that. This is what it's running. Obviously, you know, I am aware that this is a consumer machine, but I mean, this is only a server that's going to be powered up during the time the Retrofest machines are in use. Okay, so what I've done here, installed the chipset drivers. I will say, I do like working here. You know, listening to the wind rustling through the trees and the sounds of not much. I mean, yeah, you can hear traffic go by, but not as much as you would in the city. I mean, this right here, surrounded by trees, windows pretty much everywhere, kind of the place looking like something I would build on The Sims, just like window, 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 window. Yeah, I do like it. Oh crap. That wasn't supposed to be the CD-ROM. No, it wasn't. I will show you the old-timey way of installing NVIDIA drivers. Right-click my computer, select Properties. Oh, nice. This has Windows. This is Service Pack 4 slipstreamed in. So what I do, go to the Device Manager in the Hardware tab of the System Properties, which you get when you right-click on my computer and select Properties. Go to Device Manager, double-click on the Video Controller VGA Compatible. There we go. Go to Update Driver. Search for a suitable driver for my device. I have a location already, which I've got on my clipboard, so I'm going to specify a location. Paste that in, and it doesn't contain any information about my drivers. It does this. I must admit, this is bringing back nostalgia. Windows found a driver that is a closer match to the device than your current driver. It has got a better gradings than your current gradings. To install the driver for Windows found, click Next. 32 meg GeForce 2 MX Dell. So there we are, we have I think the bulk of the drivers installed. Okay, so I should probably explain at this point my intentions for this machine. I do plan to use it as a server, yes, but it can be a server even if no one's logged in, or it can be a server if a regular user logs in. So with that in mind, and the fact that with Active Directory and roaming profiles and all that good stuff, you get your account on whichever machine you're logged into, this can be a client machine as well as a server. So essentially, it will be able to play games with the rest of the machines. That's basically what I plan to do with it, is to use it as another gaming machine. Because it can just, obviously it can serve as well as be a desktop. Windows 2000 Server. It's essentially Windows 2000 Professional with Professional crossed out and Server written in crayon, and some server-based stuff glued on. But I know Windows 2000, those of you who are just kind of tuning into this channel for the first time or what have you, Windows 2000, it can game, but there is a caveat with that. It will have trouble sometimes with some Windows 3.1 games. A lot will work, but some won't, and some of the early Windows 95 games won't work. And while you could get lucky with some DOS games, don't count on it. Windows 2000 is not a DOS gaming platform. So what we're doing is we're going through the initial setup of the server. So it's going to set the server side of things up. Your computer will restart. The configure server access screen will appear. From this page you can manage these services or learn more about them. You can also configure the server with other services. That's good, because I will configure an Active Directory server and a file server. But going back to what I was saying, I have used Windows 2000 as my main operating system. I did so back in 2001 with my 2001 custom build. It was quite brilliant. Okay, there were certain things that I couldn't run, the Kodak photo scanner being one of them, but that I had, which originally came with the Presario 2240. But I was able to do a lot of things with Windows 2000 that I could do with Windows 98. In fact, most of, if not all, apart from... In fact, I'm thinking at this point the photo scanner was really the only thing that did not actually work with Windows 2000. For a home user, that is pretty good going. In later years, I have actually found that the game Roll Cage doesn't seem to want to work under Windows 2000, which is a wee bit strange, but it works fine under XP. That's the strangest thing. It works fine under XP, works fine under 98, not under Windows 2000. Now, Windows 2000 Professional, Windows 2000 Server, like I said before, they do share the same underpinnings, which is not the case for Windows XP. See, Windows XP and Windows Server 2003, XP was NT 5.1, Server 2003 was NT 5.2. So you've got the nice wee situation whereby if something is compatible with Windows XP, it's not guaranteed to be compatible with Windows Server 2003. Whereas, as far as I'm aware, with Windows 2000 Professional and Windows 2000 Server, the two are going to be, the two are pretty much intercompatible with one another. Anyway, I'm just going to let this do what it's got to do, and I'll be right back. So now we come to the configure your server part of Windows 2000. I'm a wee bit rusty, yeah. I think one of the things I want to do, though, is DHCP. Windows has detected that DHCP is installed on the server. Use the Create Scope Wizard to define one or more scopes of IP addresses for TCP/IP clients. Do not proceed if another server on your network is already running DHCP. Well, there isn't anything. But if I had a router, for example, if I was running this on a home network, chances are my router would be running the DHCP stuff. So this is recommended not to. Anyway. Authorize this DHCP server. A DHCP server must be authorized in the Active Directory before it can assign IP addresses. Authorization is a security precaution that ensures that only authenticated DHCP servers may run on your network. So what I want to do is go to the action menu and click authorize. Is it done? Oh good, I'm authorized. Nice. Either press F5. Excellent. So apparently this will take a few moments to authorize. Right, okay. Scope. New scope. This wizard will help you set up a scope for distributing IP addresses on the computers on your network. To continue, press next. Type a name and a description for this scope. This information helps you quickly identify how the scope is to be used on your network. So I think I'll just call this Retrofest scope. Computers on the Retrofest domain. So start IP address 192.168.10.02. So, and then 192.168.10.255. And we're going to go for a Class C network. Subnet mask defines how many bits of an IP address to use for the network, subnet IDs, and how many bits for the host ID. You can specify the subnet mask by the length or as an IP address. So 255.255.255.0. The ending address is not valid for this range. Some broadcast addresses, the host ID of the ones. Okay then, I guess I'm using 254. Type the IP address range that you want to exclude. I don't, if I'm honest. Distribution for scope leases and distributed by the server. I'll take the default. Do you want to configure DHCP options for the scope now? Yep. To add an IP address for a router used by clients, enter the address below. Don't have a router. You can specify the parent domain if you want the client computers on your network to use for DNS name resolution. I want to activate that scope now. So there we are. Now at this point, I mean, I'm probably doing everything all wrong here, and yeah, but at this point I want to make the IP address static. So 192.168.10.1, and then yeah, DNS server home. Did you look at that? And I will show the icon on the taskbar when connected, just for the sake of troubleshooting. Now, can I get these other systems to configure automatically over DHCP? I should probably check, but first, I should probably actually go and set other things up. So, networking. Oh, in the console tree, right click on your new scope and select activate. Yep, it seems that we're all ready. There, there's a green triangle. So let's see, can I, nope, that's activated, that's good. So the DHCP server is now set up. Now let's manage Active Directory. What I like about this is it's brilliant for new users. I mean, obviously, everyone at the time of Windows 2000 server's release was a brand new user of Active Directory, but it's great how, you know, if you're completely green, shall we say, to server administration, Windows 2000 configure your server screen, wizard, whatever you want to call it. It basically holds your hand through it. Active Directory is already installed on this server. Good. You can now set up and manage user accounts and group settings. Active Directory installation wizard will demote this server to be a member server or a standalone server, depending on what type of domain controller this is. To demote this server. Okay, let's do it. So now we can start creating some users. So I think what I'm gonna do is, well, I'm just gonna do that. Retrofest local, new user. So I'll put my name in. I'll just, actually, you know what? I think a good old-fashioned J should suffice. Gonna put my password in. Excellent. So now I've set up a me. Now I'm gonna set my group. So unlike in real life, I'm a member of all the groups. So I run this network. So what I plan to do here is just have a couple of users, me, and Retrofest user. And we're going to have Retrofest as the username. And there we go. We're in. Retrofest user. And what are they a member of? Domain users. And I guess DHCP users as well. And just users, just plain old that. Okay, so now we come to an interesting part of this. I've created my users, I've cut off some shares, and now we're going to write a batch script. And I hear all the networking people among you going, "Jay, what the hell? Why would you even do such a thing? I mean, that's just so, I mean, I've never heard of anything so heinous. And I mean, I was around when Chris Evans took over hosting Top Gear, so my expectations are pretty grim. But you ball bag." And I do hear your concerns, because batch scripting is really not that good of a way of doing stuff. But when you've got Windows 95 and 98 machines floating around on the network, it's really not a bad way of doing things. And to be honest, these computers are only connecting with one another. So a batch script is a nice simple way of mapping things. Plus I kind of like the whole idea. I like it when you log on to an NT domain from a Windows 99 Xbox and you start getting the DOS screen and nostalgia. Anyway, so what I want to do with these batch files, literally connect some network shares, and that's pretty much about it. So, gonna write my own batch script. So net use I'm gonna use G RF dash 01 so RF dash 01 slash share slash J. Actually, I'm going to use I think I'm going to use M for that. Net use G RF dash 01 dash share dash Retrofest. Net use O RF dash 01 share scratch pad. That's in case there's any files that people need to kind of put up on the network, score sheets or anything like that. Can't see it being used, but if it needs to be used, it's there. So what I want to do is save it to rf-01 slash net logon. So that's where all the batch files are stored. j.bat. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the other two batch files and I'll come back. So now I need to tell the server that there is a batch file on my account that needs processed. So to do that, click profile, logon script, j.bat. Logon scripts are placed in a netlogon share located in system root sysvol wdns domain slash domain name slash scripts. Right, good. So I reckon we're making some good progress on. Anyway, let's see if we can get a client to connect to the server. So as you can see, we have the this machine here, the Grampian Electronics one. So what we're going to do, just going to click escape and let it go into Windows 98. What an appropriate sound for the weather outside. We need to tell this machine that we're now connecting to a domain. Right click on network neighborhood. Now we have the network. Go to properties. Now we have the network configuration. Good. And what we want to do, double click on client for Microsoft Networks. Log on to Windows NT domain. What's the name of the domain? Retrofest. Good. And I also want to install IPX as well, because I think older games kind of need that. They don't like to do stuff on TCP/IP because they're all racist. And yep, I've got file and printing sharing set up here. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to unset the DHCP. Okay. Because I set this machine up with a static IP address just for, just for the temporary, just as a temporary measure. So there we are. I'm not going to log in at the moment, funny enough. These machines are growing up and are graduating to become part of an NT domain. I don't want to be messing about with static IP addresses on a network where IP addresses can be set dynamically. If I wanted to give these machines static IP addresses, what I would do is I would go back to the DHCP screen on the server and put in a range to exclude, so that the IP addresses that these machines have could not be assigned to another machine, causing conflicts to be a thing. Another layer of what I plan to do is to get the network, lock down the Retrofest account so that people can't just mess these machines up. So I really don't need that to happen. Alright. It's a big test. The domain password you supplied is not correct, or access to your logon server has been denied. Oh yeah, that's because I'm not logging in as me. Bird brain. Right, try this again. It kind of did it. But then again, it kind of didn't. Unable to browse the network. But it was able to get an IP address from the... Let's have a look at WinIPCFG, which is the Win9X equivalent of ipconfig. It seems to have given it the right IP address. Oh, no. See, now that is... Let's see if I change the work group. All right. Oh, still writing telling me it doesn't actually want to. I just don't know. What have I done? Ah, RF01. So there, we're kind of in, but then kind of not. Let's have a look at my logon script. Net use H G share. Actually, let's take one of these lines and see what I get, because this flashes up so quickly. It's error. You attempted the operation cannot be performed from your computer. Is not supported in the specified area using the correct server for the right. Okay then. RF-01 share J. You attempted an operation that cannot be performed from your computer or that is not supported on the specified server. Make sure you are using the correct server for the command or task that you want to perform. If the problem persists, contact your network administrator. You know, I know there's going to be something that I didn't do that I should have done, and that you're all probably shouting at your computer screens. I wouldn't mind, but I can't access and read and write to J right now. So I don't know. I don't really know what gives. Let's go back into network neighborhood RF-01. Let's go share. I've got it. I was supposed to actually map the shared drives themselves. Let's just quietly log off and pretend that nothing ever happened, okay? Okay. Now, let's try and log on now. And we're in. We are in. These machines are now connected. Logon script is absolutely fine and dandy. Here is a network game of Grand Theft Auto. Each machine has its own IPX address on the same IPX network, which is actually running within the actual network, which is being propagated out by my Dell Dimension 4100, which is acting as the domain server / DHCP controller. So I started out a game of Grand Theft Auto on here, which is being picked up on here, Grampian Electronics machine. On here, which is my Dell Dimension 4100. But for some reason, well, this computer can register that there's a session and that you could join it. It doesn't want to seem to let us. Let's see if I could even play just a single player on this. Oh, it's very, very slow. Oh my goodness. Ah, Jings. So I can join the network. But now obviously it's registered as no sessions available because all these computers are having fun in a session. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave these up and running for a bit while I pack up. And hopefully, hopefully this is a sign that we are now starting to make some kind of progress with Retrofest. Hooray! Okay, update. I've got the mesh on as well now. Would you look at that? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and would like to see more, please consider subscribing to the Flying Scotsman YouTube channel. If you're looking for more things The Flying Scotsman, you can also follow the Flying Scotsman YouTube channel Facebook page and follow me on Twitter. To see my latest video, click on the link within the browser window. In the meantime, thank you for watching and please do feel free to join me for my next video. Cheery bye.